Welcome to today's debate. Joseph, your opponent states that the Second Amendment states that the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Therefore, there should be no restrictions on purchasing firearms and ammunition on prior felons and the mentally ill citizens. What are your thoughts?
Well, Nick promotes this fallacy of accident that firearms restrictions should not be allowed due to the Second Amendment. So it is my belief that some restrictions must be attained for safe citizens. Most of the firearms mass killing in recent history in the United States has been from mentally unstable individuals. If we allow Nick's policy to reign the land, then we will be allowing an army of mentally ill, hospital patients that will lead armies of crazies running down the streets, killing everyone. Now, how can we really allow armies of mentally ill to destroy our peaceful society?
Joseph slides down a slippery slope of insanity with the understanding of my position on the Second Amendment. My close friend, Samuel Hitchcock, that owns Shoot 'em All and Let God Sort 'em All shooting range and gun shop, knows a lot of mentally unstable congressmen that shop at his store. He says even the most unstable person needs to be able to protect themselves in the case of being in harm's way. I agree that every citizen with the correct training should be allowed to own a firearm.
Well, that was certainly a wonderful example of an appeal to unqualified authority. Nick, now for the next question. Nick, state legislature is currently looking into changing moped laws in an effort to make them safer. You have stated that you are against these changes. Please explain.
In regards to the new restriction in the State House wishes to put upon moped drivers, such as only allowing them to drive on roads with a maximum speed limit of 45 miles an hour and wearing reflective jackets at nighttime. It follows that no fewer traffic incidents will involve mopeds with these restrictions than we currently have on our roads involving motorcycle accidents.
Begging the question, sir, just because motorcycles and mopeds are two-wheeled modes of travel on our roads, how can you claim that there would be no reduction in moped accidents is befuddling?
A recent story of the Tilly Swamp Monster has resurfaced after years of silence. What are your thoughts on these reports, and how would you keep neighborhoods safe?
After years of investigation by the folks in Tilly Swamp area, no one has proven that this creature does not exist. Therefore, we must agree that there is a swamp man that lives in the swamp, comes out at night to rummage our garbage cans for food.
Nice appeal to ignorance.
What is your opinion on the potential ban of smoking in public areas?
Smoking is very bad for you, but is a necessity for some people. They have several jobs at once. They have several kids. What is one cigarette while you're walking down the street? We should not ban public smoking.
How do you feel about this topic?
How do I feel? I think this guy's crazy. What about secondhand smoke? Several jobs are irrelevant. They got all those kids because they didn't wrap it up. Turn your brain on, sir. Smoking should be banned.
How do you feel about the increase in hoe activity?
Hoe activity. You obviously do not own a garden. Hoes are a necessity for gardening. You have to get rid of those weeds. We need more hoe activity.
Golly jeepers, how do you feel about this?
Hoes have assets that everyone likes. Do you not like the asset of hoes? I think the increase in hoe activity is not a big deal. They provide a service that some people need. Everybody on this planet likes the asset of hoes. I'm on this planet. Therefore, you like the asset of hoes. Yay for hoes.
Can't argue with that.
Joseph, how do you feel about the preservation of the historical town park that our current elected officials are attempting to demolish to make room for additional parking?
I love that park. That park has represented a piece of this beautiful town for as long as I can remember. If I'm elected to office, I'll be my first priority to save this piece of property to reserve for the locals. Everyone in this town loves the historical park, and I'll guarantee post-election this park will survive.
Nick, same question.
A park is a waste of property. It would be my goal to demolish it and create additional parking. Additional parking will generate more revenue that this town desperately needs. It is within my majority opinion of current elected officers That is the only sensible move for this town.
Previous elected officials have had poor approval rating from this region because the citizens felt as if their voice was not heard. Most importantly, they feel betrayed as they voted for one thing during elections and the winning party did not deliver. Are you prepared to change the reputation and opinion of this town?
I love this town and I love these people, so naturally I feel obligated that I would try to help the citizens, well, to an extent. To some degree, you have to give the people what they want to hear during the elections, and once you're office, you have your other priorities, but that just makes sense.
This town deserves honesty and deserves it today from their politicians. Honestly, I can't give this town what they want. They deserve it, but once you're elected, you have to take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Joe, how do you feel about the plan of getting the town more natural exposure, attracting tourists to come vacate at your beautiful beaches, and increase revenue?
I have big plans to boost our beloved town for a more popular tourist spot. Every time I go to the beach, people are there. Therefore, whenever I'm in office in this town, more people will come to us.
Oh, very well, I guess. Nick, may you answer the same question?
Gladly. I don't want more people to come to this town, and you shouldn't either. Yes, it will generate more revenue, but also crowded streets and the possibility of more pollution. I went to Disney World when I was younger, and the streets were crowded as well as there was pollution. If we have more tourists at our streets, we'll be more polluted to the point where we can't walk. I'll let you in on a little secret. I know how pollution works, and if we turn this into a tourist town, our clean beaches will be sure as gone. Pretty soon we won't even be able to go into the water or walk the ocean lines. We do not want tourists if we want pretty beaches.
Joe, Nick is hype. So how do you feel about the plan to address the questions of the town pertaining to safer roads and highways without constant risk-taking, raising taxes?
So I'm going to fix these roads. They're a danger to our town. I have to pave the new roads with allocated funds within our system. Raising our taxes may have to happen, but it's not because it's not possible to do so without it.
Same question.
Taxes will not be raised. If I'm elected to office, I guarantee I will not raise your taxes regardless of road problems. Money is tight within our town with the current state of the economy, and the middle class cannot continue to be forced to pay more. It will be my duty to keep our taxes stable.
Joe, what is the biggest problem you view on our town to have?
Simply put, it's a crime rate. Last week I watched a man try to rob a house in my suit. It was unbelievable. It needs to be solved quickly.
I think the drugs within our surrounding area is absolutely disgusting. I've seen people deal drugs in my car hundreds of times. Can you believe that? In my car. It's absolutely a problem that needs to be addressed day one.
How do you intend to ensure that the young population in our town remain in schooling and strive to be successful past graduation?
If the young population does graduate from high school, then they are not welcome in this town. You have to maintain passing grades, receive a diploma, or you might as well get out. Graduate from school and make us proud is one of the few demands of the younger population. If I'm elected to office, I will single-handedly kick out every high school dropout less than 18 out.
My policy is simple. You graduate or you leave. This town needs a successful future, and we will not stand for anyone who believes that school is not for them. I am prepared to implement a plan of action to survey the town and exile everyone not fully on board with a brighter future.
Man, I need whatever you drinking. I need that.
Okay, gentlemen. Open debate lightning round.
For the past week, I've been checking to see if you've been making progress in your alleged education program. I've yet to see any. It seems that you never will.
My healthcare program had a deadline, a few dozen employees. It was started from scratch, and it was a success. Now my educational program has the exact same things: a deadline, a few dozen employees. It was also started from scratch, Therefore, it is no reason why it should not be successful.
There are a lot of different things on why it wouldn't be successful. Look, you either start that education program now, or you will never be allowed to be run as a representative again.
What do you mean you won't let me run? Are you going to break my legs if I don't?
You already have the progressive models for math and English. Therefore, you can combine and use those same ones for the rest of the categories.
Speaking of English, I love reading. Have you ever read Moby Dick? The underlying plot is surprisingly truthful on what the actual character is entitled.
Get off track there, man. That's all we got time for today, folks. See you next Thursday.